Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we are basically done with the quests in the Great River. I was just double checking online. I realized there is a landscape quest that we missed far to the east in the Brownlands, so I'm gonna pick that as fast as I can. But other than that, all we're missing right now is basically completing the Banished Rider deed. So let me actually pull that up on my deed log, from my deed log. Why can I add this to the tracker? That's kind of weird. Okay, yeah, now I can add that to the tracker. Yeah, that was strange. So that's what we need to do. That's what we're doing today, completing all those 5 quests to complete our search for the Nazgûl in the Brownlands. So a few episodes ago we found a fell beast, failed, even though at this point, yeah, Beriathan knows what the fell beasts are because he saw them in Mirkwood. So he knows a dead fell beast means a Nazgûl is nearby, and that's what we're tracking. And for this part of the epic, we need to revisit all the areas of the Great River minus the Limelight Gorge, and there are new quests in each one of those areas related to the Black Rider. We already completed the quests in the Brownlands, so that was basically this girl. That was basically the titular, talking about an inspired presence. So the Rohirrim are not able to figure out what that presence is, but we do know. Even though we are not telling anyone about it. Not yet. Okay. This guy refused to pursue me. This other guy did too. You will die anyway. So basically, yeah, I think I missed this because I turned floating names off while I was fighting Gozuk, which is a shame. I mean, I got a nice picture out of it, but I think I gotta remember to turn back those floating names so that I can be sure I don't miss anything. But yeah, there we have it, a broken weapon of the Second Age. I just removed his corruption once again. Take this guy down. Broken weapon of the Second Age. This quest. This weapon clearly was crafted during the Second Age, but it has been broken and ruined. Nevertheless, it still shines with great beauty. Perhaps in the forges of Elrond Have-Elben it might be reforged. So, here's the deal. If we wait until the epic takes us back to Rivendell, it's gonna be a long time. We would need to finish the entirety of Rohan and Gondor, and Mordor, I think, would be the earliest. We could reasonably go back to Rivendell, but I wouldn't want this quest to be sitting on my log for that long. So we're gonna take a quick trip to Rivendell just to complete that quest. Keep in mind, if we take into consideration the distances between Stangard and Rivendell, there's no way anyone could do this trip just to bring a weapon to Elrond, especially considering what we are going through right now. But yeah, we are doing this. So you might remember our good friend Limbad is parked in Elrond's stables. And you might remember as well that as soon as we came into the Great River, I told you there was something I wanted to show you, I wanted to tell you about. So these two things are related, but we have not gotten to that point yet, but keep that in mind, because that will come into play, I hope, on the next episode. And still, well, besides this new quest, I didn't remember this one, so this gives me something to think about to make sure that I am crafting this kind of inside story, roleplay, or what have you, in a as good as I can, basically. But yeah, let us bring this to Elrond.
Hope is not in vain.
Alas, this was once a token of great power, but even here, this weapon is beyond repair. However, it was not a loss for you to come here, for there are relics that may be taken from it which may prove useful to you in the future. The remaining shards shall be put in a place of honor. But who was the owner of that weapon, I wonder? And Elrond does not tell us. Anyway, so back to the Great River it is, and back to our tracking of the Banished Rider. It was just... oh my god, wrong skill, my bad. It was just about 5-6 minutes that we used in bringing that weapon back to Elrond. So... nothing too major. Now, I don't have an optimal route for this. But now that I'm back in Stangard, that does remind me of something. Let us do that really quick as well. Before I forget about it once again, because if I forget about this, who knows when will I do this. And that is basically the abandoned house. We now have the reputation required to access it. Discover the abandoned house. We have a new title, the Trespasser, kinda fun. There is a door in here, a trapdoor. And if you go down that trapdoor, spider hatchlings that you cannot even fight. But this was some kind of inside joke of sorts. Like, back in the day, keep in mind, if memory serves me right, this had a kindred requirement for you to be able to access this house. So it was like, we grinded an entire reputation just to look at some cobwebs and some spiders, and that's it. Anyway, now let us go back here to the Stable Master. Our first stop is the Wailing Hills. So we're gonna take the Stable Master to the Limelight Gorge. Is the closest one, really. But once again, there are no epic quests in the Limelight Gorge. No. What we need to do is go back to the Kudstan. I believe it is. But the Kudstan is actually to the south. So we need to complete 5 quests with about 50 minutes on this episode. We have about 10 minutes per quest. But that is without taking into consideration the aftermath of finding the rider. So I would say if we could ideally take between 6 to 7 minutes per quest, that would make things easier for us. But of course, where is this guy I'm looking for? I need to go a little bit north. Is he like, oh, in this camp? Wait. Fritstan's camp. Okay, so once again, Fritstan has a daily for us.
Our
Gathering
depends upon our strength.
goat hides
Will you aid us?
and
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
has pouches of poison. God, where is this guy we're looking for? It's even further north. Somewhere around here. Oh, okay, I see the quest ring now. Jesus, you're a hard guy to find. But here we are. Far away.
I have always prided myself on courage. But last night...
I should not be out here. I wanted to be a farmer, while my father said I should follow my older brothers and... well, here I am. And last night... well, I cannot explain it. Something spooked the goats, and I climbed up the ridge to investigate, and that's when I heard it. Something was... how can I describe it? It was a sniffling sound, like somewhat with a cold, but there was something about that snuffling sound that made my blood run cold, and as I approached the milling goats, I saw that I was not the only one disturbed by the sound. The eyes of the goats were wild, and they stamped the ground, desperate to get away from... something. Something moved among them, low to the ground. It made no sound but that snuffling, as if it was smelling for something. I ran and ran, and I feel as if my heart has only now calmed itself. If you decide to visit the goats at the enclosures to the north and to the southwest, use caution. That thing might come back. What do we have here? Here we have the goats. You see nothing unusual. Whatever was here must have gone. And then we'll need to scout the other goat pen. Goats to the south. Nothing unusual. Whatever was here must have gone. Okay. So, let us bring word to poor Magla. He's terrified and can you blame him? Not everyone can face this threat.
I suppose I may have imagined it.
You didn't see anything there? Just goats? You know what Magla saw, but the man is frightened enough without knowing the identity of the creature that sniffed so near to him that night. Nazgûl. He is slowly becoming more calm, but he is still shaken by the experience. I am not cut out for this sort of thing, Beriathan. My brothers are bold and courageous, and would certainly not have been as frightened. And my sister! She is a handmaiden at the Golden Hole in Edoras, and she would have marched right up to that, whatever it was, and given it a tongue lashing it would not soon forget. Not like me. Oh well, I am the one who is here. I am doing my best. I hope my father and brothers and sister are proud, or will be. Thank you again, friend. Okay, so no idea who Magla's sister is, but I think that is a reference or an Easter egg of sorts to Eowyn, of course, another woman who was able to face the Witch King, and Nazgûl, and stand victorious. So that's a nice detail, nice Easter egg. Now, that reminds me, there was something I intended to tell you about the blue cast sorcerers. We are really close to the Thinglad portion of this quest, so while I get there, you might remember, let me tell you, it's telling you about two different factions of the blue sorcerers, and one light blue and one dark blue. So yeah, all this points to the blue wizards in my opinion. I don't think we have had an official confirmation for that, but the fact that there are two factions of blue sorcerers in the east does seem to point towards that. It was just a nice detail that I didn't catch on my first time on the Great River, but now that I am a little bit more familiar with the lore and that, I mean, it's details like this that make the world feel believable and full, and Not just something in which you are thrown into as a player, but also in something that existed before you did.
I saw something on the shore, but when I approached it fled.
It was dark as pitch in the cold watches of the night, and I walked the shore of Anduin. I thought I saw... No, I did see a darker patch of shadow in the space between the trees. When I approached it fled. It moved with a lurching step, sliding low upon the ground, but it moved quickly, and for some reason I cannot explain I was loath to close the distance. I lost it in the dark. But I know the name of this apparition. Limthir looks from side to side and then speaks in a voice barely above a whisper. Its name is Nazgûl. Bring word to Fimbloth at Haldred that one of these fell creatures is loose somewhere in Thinglad. Well, if you know it was an Nazgûl, then why can you not explain your resistance to getting closer to it? I mean, you know what that thing is, you know what it does. But of course, if anyone is gonna know what that is of course going to be an elf. Oh yeah, don't be ashamed of it. Everybody is ashamed of the Nazgûl. Turncoat's note. What is this? Oh my god! When did I get this that I missed this? This note implicates one of Keola's men as a traitor assisting Half-Orc's brigands. There is a seal upon the note which Keola might recognize. Okay, so Dagbert is a traitor. That was a spoiler. And I ate it. Oh my god. So, what was the deal? He was trying to attack the Easterlings to drive the attention away from the brigands so that nobody would notice he was a traitor? Getting this right? My god, I should be checking these bags more closely. Oh my god, I feel so stupid right now. And we have here the Stangard Explorer. Plus this new title, you have explored all of Stangard. Okay, so we will be coming back to the Brownlands after we complete all these tasks to locate the riders. So at that point we can bring this note to Keola. At least I'm glad I was able to see it on my bag before it was destroyed after an hour. So there's that at least. But yeah, I feel kind of bad with myself now.
Are you sure? A Nazgûl?
Fimbloth stares off into the distance for a time, deep in thought. Then she shakes her head and turns back to you. This is disturbing news, Beriathan, but I believe a single one of the 9 cannot endanger Lothlorien. Not while Lady Galadriel retains her power, and she does. You need not worry on that account. All of the 9 together would pose a more serious threat, but Our Lady still governs and her power still keeps the borders of Lorien safe. Thank you for these tidings from Limthir, but it seems to me this Nazgûl pose more danger to the men south of here than to the elves north of here in the Golden Wood. Okay. So, Errolsmith, that is just a north of Stangard, so we're gonna take the Stable Master to Stangard.
Megavonen.
Take it, please. So I think we're doing good on time. If we are able to keep this pace, we shouldn't have any issues with the timing of any of this. Is he actually north of Stangard or within Stangard? No, he's here. No, oh my god, this is the task board. Christ. Oh, come on, I thought that red ring on the map was showing you the locations for it. But no, I'm not so lucky. the guy is over here. There you have it. What happened to you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot seem to clear my head.
Ethan shakes his head as if to try and clear it of cobwebs. He squints at you blearily. Where am I? I saw something, and then? Ethan tries to focus on your face. He finally manages and takes a deep breath. It was dark, and I could not see far into the night, but I saw a figure in the darkness. I thought it was one of my men, returned from a patrol in Errolsmith, but then it rather hissed at me. I approached and demanded that the stranger identify himself, but then everything went black. I fell down, and only now have I come back to my senses. The shape came from the northwest, I think, atop that rising slope. You can look for it there if you like. I will stay here. I am still not right, I fear. No, that of course is the Black Breath. That was mentioned in Fellowship of the Ring. That's something that happened to Merry when he was taking a stroll through Bree. But I think that also happened at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. However, that time it was much more deadly. Didn't want to fight that worm, but it seems I will have to. A booted footprint in the mud here may mark the presence of the hissing figure seen by Ethan. The footprint is of a heavily mailed foot, clearly wearing a mailed boot.
You found a booted footprint? I wonder what it means.
Can you tell me who it was that attacked me? You try to console Ethan and assure him that he is in no more danger, but you have few words of comfort. You know what it is that befell him. Ethan ran afoul of the Nazgûl, succumbing to the Black Breath, the stench of death and foul instrument of the Nine. He is fortunate the creature must have been harried for some unknown reason, or he would certainly have been killed. He was lucky, but your fortune seems poor. The whereabouts of the Nazgûl remain unknown to you. Alright, we're only missing the Rushgore and the part Celebrand. So where do we go first? Let us take the way east. So let us go first to part Celebrand, and then the Rushgore, and then the Browlands. Kela will love to hear this.
Welcome and well met, my friend.
So we go first to part Celebrand. Here we have Kerdig.
After you left, I went searching on my own, and, well...
Beriathan, you have returned. I was just thinking about you and wondering if you ever found what it was you were seeking. After you left, I went searching on my own and, well... Kerdig is having some trouble meeting your eyes. I am not a coward, Beriathan. I have stood unblinking before a shrieking mass of goblins, and not giving way before a charging warband of Kundalar Easterlings. And I have even stood my ground when my wife was in one of her tempers. Well, mostly stood my ground. But at certain sites on the battlefield my courage was quite drained away. I felt uneasy and everything seemed to get cold. Will you go to some of these sites? I will mark them on your map. Look at the rubble of a crumbling corner in Ostcelebrand, a grassy ledge overlooking the fast-flowing river, and by one of the stone bridges over the river. I want to know what is happening out there, Beriathan. I am ashamed to have felt that way. There must be a reason. Okay, so for that we need to ride south. Luckily, all those locations are close to each other. Yeah. Let's go there. But we need to enter Ostcelebrand? Oh, yeah, it was Ostcelebrand. Okay, so yeah, Kerdic did not mention it was at Ostcelebrand. But anyway, here we are. Wow, what's going on here? There we go. Here we have one location. Those stones crunch underfoot, but you do not feel anything out of the ordinary. Well, let's keep looking then. Grab the covering here. There's another heavy cover over there, so let's try and get it. There are a lot of covers in here actually. So it seems the next location we're looking for is somewhere around here. Yeah. Right here. This location is marked on your map as being a location of significance from the ancient battle against the Koshin. Koshin? Well, no. Was that like the ancient name for Gondor or something like that? The river rushes past far beneath you, but you feel nothing out of the ordinary. The other location, I think it was on the bridge where we did the instance of Ostcelebrand. I don't remember the name, but that's where the Easterling was hiding by that fortress. No? I know, it's that bridge over there. So let us try and do this. I just remembered, I don't have Garliv with me because you went crazy inside that cave. I don't know what happened to you, boy, but stop doing that, please. Oh, this is right next to the entrance of Rohan. You feel nothing unusual by the bridge. Your prey did not travel this way. So we need to talk to Kerdic. For a moment, I considered taking this bridge to the south because we have this quest in here Rohan awaits. I don't remember exactly where. But that's this letter that we received when we hit level 74, I think it was. This is one of the vectors to Rohan, but since there are two different ways to enter Rohan and we will be taking the other one, I figured, well, let us cross that bridge and complete this quest so that we can free that inventory slot as well. But on the other hand, I don't want an overlapping of quests, in the sense that we are still doing Book 6 and the Great River, so I want to follow a linear progression in this, especially now that we're almost done with the Great River. So that's why. Before I forget, I also got some crafting scrolls. Hope I don't forget to check them. Mastering Horn, okay. Members of your fellowship immediately to your location. Once every 30 minutes. And high enough level or the area you are being mastered in. Yeah. What do we have here?
Did you experience anything strange while you explored the sites?
To recount what you saw at each of the locations Kurdik pointed out, and he seems to be quite relieved. It was not all in my head then. Good, Beriathan. Thank you for setting my mind at ease. Whatever it was that instilled in me such uncommon fear may have moved on, but it is good to see it still had an effect on those sites. I knew I was no coward. The word Nazgûl dances at the forefront of your mind. If Kurdik knew the truth of what came so near to him, he would not be so shamed by the fear that filled him.
Greetings, friend.
So
of the
now we're
road.
gonna go to Akolf's camp in the Rushgore to complete the last part of this.
Our success depends upon our strength. Will you aid us?
But it's not here. Oh, God. Where is it? A little to the north. But more importantly, to the east. And of course... you're... Oh. Leave me alone. Jeez. Friggin' turtles. Gonna be somewhere around here. More turtles, of course, because... just because. Okay. Here at the woodsman camp, actually.
Something has made the gredbyg here more aggressive than they used to be.
You defeated some of them before we went to the Brownlands. Did you notice anything unusual about them? Well, I have. On my way back from the carcass of the beast, I was set upon by a group of gredbyg. I fought them off, but I noticed something peculiar. As they lay twitching beneath my sword strokes, their blood smelled to boil. The blood seemed to boil, like water over a rolling flame. This is the cause of their newfound aggressiveness. I want you to defeat gredbyg and collect samples of their blood. See if the blood boils and bubbles. What could have caused this? just when I thought I wouldn't have to fight any more gredbyg in the Great River. The gredbyg blood is boiling to the touch. Boiling hot. Boiling hot to the touch. That figures. Go back to the creeping mod, it seems. But at least we can pull some of these guys. Ah, stop it! Oh, for God's sake! Die, stupid. Well, you're gonna die anyway, so just drop dead, please, and thank you. Ah, but we got one cool gredbyg blood. Okay. Let's see what's that about. Let me go. Let me go about my business. I have nothing to do with you. Not for the time being. I've already defeated your leaders at your camp in the Brownlands. You shouldn't be here.
Interesting. Seems that whatever causes blood to boil has moved on.
As time went on, the blood you collected ceased to boil. Interesting. It seems that whatever caused this blood to boil has moved on. What type of creature could have this effect on the gredbyg? Whatever it may be, its presence alone was enough to make the blood of the gredbyg roil and bubble. And when it moved on, the blood gradually ceased to boil. What evil is this, that its mere presence can so enrage creatures of nature? You do not answer, Edward, but the word Nazgûl is on your tongue. Okay. So we completed that deed. The Banished Rider, we have a new title. Anduin, Wanderer, you have scoured the lands alongside Anduin, the Great River, in search of a banished Nazgûl, and we now can go back to Nona at the carcass of the fell beast. But I want to double check something here in the Rushgore really quick. In Thinglad. And it's not far away, so why not? Oh, come on, the guys that were here have already phased out. I just wanted to double check, but I think I'm right on that one. The Easterling that aids you attacking the Easterling camp, the sorcerer, is the one that you met here. That you brought the Easterling insignias to. But I just wanted to double check that. Anyway, let us go there. I wanted to double check that because I really like how the Great River handles this. The choices and the characters that you met on previous areas come back to playing here and have different outcomes. So that, I think, it's really nice every time they do it. It's not that common because, as far as I understand from a QA that Cerulean did with Cordovan a few months ago, that it's hard to do and takes more resources than just usual questing, so that's why it's not that common. But now we can bring this note to Keola. What is this? One of my men is a traitor. I recognize the seal. It belongs to Dagbert's house. I will have him hanged. Men, go at once and seize Dagbert the traitor. Guards, take Dagbert into custody. And will we see how they take them? No, he just phased out. He disappeared. But yeah, it seems I was right in in thinking that if that bear shows his face among us again, he will perish. So yeah, he was attacking the Easterlings to drive the attention away from the brigands so that he wouldn't be discovered, but he didn't count on us. Now, I want to double check that really quick. Does he show again on one of the instances we have already completed? It seems not. So what happens if you discover his treachery and he disappears before you complete the quests he gives you? Can you complete those quests with Keola, with Twiga? I don't remember, but I think there is a workaround for that. In any case, here we are. We're almost there. There you can see that on the horizon where the fell beast lies. And I love this part of the epic, tracking down the Nazgûl through the different areas of the Great River, getting the chance to revisit them on one hand, on the other hand, seeing the effects that the Nazgûl's presence has on all the different inhabitants of the Great River. Once again, it's a great build-up of tension, and of dread as well, of what the Nazgûl can do. Oh, come on. If you were following the orders you were given by your superiors, you would still be alive.
We have learned much of this creature, but not what we need to know.
Where has its rider gone, and what cruel fate has kept us a step behind it at every turn?
The creature was looking for something. We need to think.
This rider, what was the word you used? Nazgûl? The creature was looking for something. We need to think. I brought us on a chase through these lands, but I cannot tell what it sought, or if it found what it desired. We have no choice but to return to the village of the Horse Lords. I will wait outside while you speak with the man Horn. We are strangers in this land. He is not. He may know of a place we have not yet searched. Let's go.
Let us talk on the way back to the village of the Horse Lords.
Has no one seen our new friend, or the Dunlending girl? I thought they would have returned to Stangard by now. Did some trouble befall them on the road?
We'll see. We have a long way to go, Beriathan. As much as I wish we did not need to refuge at the town of the Horse Lords, it seems we must. We have lost the trail of this creature, this wraith of which you speak, and until we can learn where it has gone, we are only wasting time. It is frustrating to know our purpose and be unable to accomplish it. Well, let us keep walking. I will tell you a story of Subud. It will help pass the time. Long ago there was a man named Freka who lived among the Horse Lords. His hair was dark like that of my people. He had Dunlendish blood in his veins. He desired a marriage match between his own wolf and the king of the Horse Lord's daughter. The king, whom they hated, refused Freka's offer with insult and violence. He lured Freka to a desolate place alone and slew him with treachery. And then... What is it? Easterlings, get ready to fight, Beriathan. And please don't talk so fast. I wanna listen to the tale of Freka and Wolf told by the Dunlendings. There will be more of them, Beriathan. Let us get off the main path. Do you feel that? Yeah. I don't feel safe here, Beriathan. Let us go up among the rocks. Something is near, Beriathan. It must be the wraith we have sought. It makes my blood run cold. Nona looks at you with wide eyes, and you are suddenly reminded that she has not had much experience with creatures of such evil. She puts her hand on the hilt of Wadu's sword, her sword, and her former fright is replaced with grim determination. We found it. Now, what do we do with it? I hear something. Look there! Do you see that? Oh, he sees us. Oh my god. He's coming for us. We don't stand there, Nona. Nona's sword flashes with a bright light and the Nazgûl flees from it. Ah! Coward! More Easterlings! Get ready! Beriathan, the big one is running for his friends. Follow him!
Why are you bothering me?
I will not run from you. I am your better. My people have powerful friends. I will show them how strong a man of the Gondor can be. Cannot match the strength of Gondor. Suddenly a woman's scream pierces the stillness. Nona is in trouble. Nazgûl springs away from the blazing fire. Okay. You need to find a means of driving it off. We're gonna pick this torch. You can still grab the fallen torch, burning your hand. Nona lies crumpled on the ground before you, soaking in the blood from a sword wound in her side. She struggles weakly to speak. Beriathan, are you? The effort is too great for her. She needs the aid of a healer if she is to survive this wound. In the back of your mind, one worrying question refuses to go away. From what blade did she take this wound? Did an Easterling blade cause this injury, or was it the blade of the Nazgûl? You prepare yourself for the long journey back to Stangard with Nona. Beriathan, is everything alright? Nona's breathing is ragged and shallow, and the gash in her side still bleeds around the cloths with which you try to stanch it. When you brought her to Stangard, she was barely conscious. You found Horn near the entrance and begged for his people to tend to Nona's hurts. He sought out the leader of Stangard to see what could be done, and has not yet returned. What were we saying? Reka? Wolf? Avenged? What did she say? Oh, I know what it was. She mentioned Wolf, Dunlending traitor. His treacherous father tried to kill mighty Helm, and then the son invaded Rohan and sat in Medusel. Let her die, I say. Whatever made that sword stroke did my people a favor. I have his decision. I did my best for you, Beriathan, but you are not going to be pleased. He did not understand why we should heal the hurts of this Dunlending girl. Eventually, he relented somewhat, and he has agreed that our healers will do what they can for the girl. What? Heal the girl? Horn, this cannot be his decision. There is a condition. Our healer will see to the girl's wounds, but she must relinquish all claim to the sword she carries. No! It is a sword of Rohan. It belongs with us. In Stangard, that is the price of her life. I am sorry. This is the message I was given. Do not let them... Nona struggles to speak, but the effort is too great for her to make out the words. She beseeches you with wide eyes, but you cannot meet her stare. Your gaze keeps returning to the blood soaking the floor beneath her. It tries again. Varus, it was... You cannot give the Rohirrim what they demand. There has to be another way to save her life. I would die first. Don't be a fool. Our healer can save your life. I know our people are enemies, but you should not die this way. How would you have me die? Not for a sword. Beriathan, your friend is as hard-headed as the most stubborn of my folk. He could give Thelden King lessons in being headstrong. There has to be some other way, Beriathan. You spoke of the Elf Witch in the woods to the north along Anduin. My people shun that place as a den of evil glamour, but if there was a power that could heal this girl... Thorn glowers at you. His eyebrows knitted together angrily. A pox on her! I will not have her blood on my hands or on her own. Lead us to this Elf Witch, Beriathan. I have heard the tales. Perhaps she will be unable to bewitch me if I am expecting it. Why did you ever bring this girl to Stangard, Beriathan? This is not her place. Thorn gazes into the middle distance, and in a quiet voice he continues. In Stangard, is a sword valued more highly than the life of a girl? What sort of man would willingly serve in such a place? He shakes his head, and the urgency returns to his voice. Well, for what are you waiting? Let us go at once! What do you think, Warden? Huh? I will never call my people distrustful again, Beriathan. The blindfold felt somewhat unnecessary to me. Only the most urgent of need has driven me here, and I would not want to return. Horn's face softens, and his brow creases with worry. Do you think the girl will recover? I saw the way those elves looked at her wound. Whatever they saw there, they did not like it. If it was not an Easterling blade, what does that mean for her? What is wrong, Beriathan? Have you seen this before, Beriathan? Sadly, I have. And it was not pretty. I have done what I can. The danger has passed, Beriathan. The wound was deep, but it did not fester, and yet I did not wish to leave this girl to the care of my healers. The risk that her wound was caused by a Morgul blade, and that she could become a wraith like the creature you encountered at night, compelled me to heal her hurts personally. If that had proven the case, I would have ended her suffering. It would have been a mercy and necessary to safeguard Lothlorien and indeed all lands. Do you think me cruel? I am glad it did not come to that. I do not believe her wound was caused by a Morgul blade, and it is my hope and belief she will live. I am surprised. We will speak more of it later, away from watchful ears. The girl Nona is sleeping. When she is awake, you will be brought to her. For now, you should rest, Beriathan. Dream no troubling dreams. In Lothlorien, your rest will be peaceful. I am certain of it. What relief. I can hardly believe it. I fear the worst. There is clearly some glamour in this land. I feel as if I could take on any foe and achieve victory or cross any landscape, no matter the obstacles. Your elf witch works wonders. Only some could do justice to her powers of healing. The relief I feel is... It is overwhelming, Beriathan. The girl will live! Unless it is rude to ask it, I would like to return to the forest floor now. I will return to Stangard by myself, but I would like to see you again. Once the girl is recovered, bring her as well. If I am to compose a song of your adventure, I will need both of your accounts, after all.
Along the banks of the great river, you evaded a great evil, but not without cost. The girl Nona was brought before me, wounded and in pain. I did for her what I could, but her fate is not yet clear to me.
Hey, here we are in the House of Celeborn. Would you have done differently than I, Beriathan? I don't know.
You have journeyed far and have come very close to death and sadness.
And yet, still you skirt the gravest danger and come safely through the other side. I hope that our mutual friends fare as well. I told you earlier I had nothing to do with your dream, and this was true, but when you described your visions to me, I did not tell you everything I suspected. It seemed clear to me that your paths must cross one of the 9. I believed the girl would die. And yet, unbelievably, she did not. Either through your own actions or hers, you both escaped the clutches of the Nazgûl, and either through curious good fortune or powers unknown to me, our mutual friend seemed to have a distance its pursuit. But there is no rest for we who worry for their safety. The Nazgûl is not the last danger they will face. They, and you, are not free of evil's clutch just yet. Rest for a time, but not for long. There are plans to be made, Beriathan. We will speak again, and soon. Okay, so we have completed book 6, The Mists of the Anduin. We got the Mirror of Karas Galadon, which is a nice housing item, but more importantly, we got a worn symbol of Celebrimbor. I didn't remember we got this as a reward, so now I'm kinda regretting that I used my Scroll of Delving on this sword, but well, no matter. I'm gonna take the time to craft this into a weapon and see what I can do with it, and I'll be back with you with the news of it next episode when we will continue our adventure by starting Riders of Rohan. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Citadel Guard Adventures, and I hope to see you on the next one when we will begin a new expansion, a new level cap, and a whole sort of new adventures. For the time being, thank you for watching, stay safe my friends, take care, and I will see you later.